Tomorrow morning, before you put on your glasses, I want you to pay attention to one small detail. When you first open your eyes, does the room look slightly foggy? Do the edges of furniture seem soft for a few moments? Does the clock across the room take a little time to come into focus? If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what that morning haze may be telling you is more important than most people realize. I'm Dr. Anna, and today I want to talk to you honestly, not dramatically. There is no fruit on earth that magically erases cataracts overnight. There is no bedtime snack that reverses years of damage in 1 week. If someone promises you that, they are selling hope in a bottle or a fantasy in a headline. But there are simple foods and habits that can support the structures inside your eyes, and one of the most overlooked fruits in the grocery store may actually deserve more attention than it gets. So let's begin with the real question. Why do so many adults over 60 feel like their vision is blurriest in the morning? Most people assume sleep should automatically leave the eyes refreshed. But that is not always what happens. During the night, your eyes are not just off duty. While your eyelids are closed, the surface of the eye changes. The tear film behaves differently. And deep inside the eye, tissues are still carrying out maintenance and repair. When you wake up, the clarity of your vision can reflect how well that system held up overnight. Sometimes morning blur is related to dry eyes. Sometimes it is related to swelling on the surface of the cornea that clears after you blink a bit. Sometimes it reflects age-related changes in the lens or tear film. And sometimes it can be a sign that your eyes are simply not getting the support they need from the combination of hydration, sleep, nutrition, and overall health. That is why I want you to stop thinking of blurry mornings as just getting older and start thinking of them as information. Your eyes may be telling you something. One reason this matters is because the retina and the lens are both vulnerable to oxidative stress. In simple language, that means they are exposed to wear and tear from everyday metabolism, light exposure, and aging. Over time, that stress can contribute to clouding in the lens and strain in the delicate tissues responsible for sharp vision. Your body has defense systems for this, but those systems depend on nutrients, circulation, rest, and overall metabolic health. And that brings me to one of the simplest mistakes people make. The moment they hear that nutrition matters for the eyes, they think of a single pill. They think, fine, I'll buy a supplement. But your body does not work like a light switch. Eye health is not built by one isolated capsule taken randomly in the morning and forgotten by noon. It is built by consistent support over time, through patterns that your body can actually use. When we talk about foods that support the eyes, 3 types of nutrients keep coming up again and again: vitamin C, vitamin E, and protective plant pigments that help defend the retina and support the macula. These nutrients are not magic, but they matter. They help protect cells from oxidative stress and support the tissues that allow you to read, recognize faces, and see detail clearly. And one of the most underrated fruits in this conversation is kiwi. Not because it is trendy, not because it comes in expensive packaging, not because somebody turned it into a miracle cure on the internet, but because it is a practical, accessible fruit that delivers a strong nutrient profile in a small package. A ripe green kiwi gives you an impressive amount of vitamin C. It also provides vitamin E, fiber, and a range of plant compounds that fit beautifully into a nutrition pattern designed to support healthy aging. It is simple, affordable, easy to find, and for many people, much easier to use consistently than complicated supplement routines they eventually abandon. Now, I want to be careful here. I am not telling you kiwi is the one secret fruit that fixes your eyes. That kind of language is nonsense. What I am telling you is that kiwi is one of the smartest simple foods to include if you are trying to build better support for your eyes over time. And timing may matter more than people think. If your evenings are full of sugar, screens, poor sleep, and late-night snacking that leaves you restless, then even good nutrition gets buried under bad habits. But if you choose a light, nutrient-rich fruit in the evening instead of a heavy dessert, you may be helping more than one system at once. You are not only avoiding the blood sugar chaos and sleep disruption that can come with late sugary foods, you are also giving your body something useful as it moves into its overnight recovery period. That is one reason kiwi works so well in a bedtime routine. Many people find it light, easy to digest, and much gentler than the typical snacks that show up after dinner. It can fit into a calmer evening pattern instead of working against it. Let me make this practical. If your eyes often feel foggy in the morning, dry when you wake up, tired at night, or sensitive to glare, you do not need a miracle. You need consistency. You need less inflammation, better rest, better hydration, and smarter food choices repeated long enough for your body to benefit. Here is what that can look like. About an hour before bed, instead of reaching for cookies, ice cream, or a salty processed snack, eat 1 or 2 ripe kiwi. If the fruit is hard, let it ripen on the counter for a few days. When it gives slightly under gentle pressure, it is ready. Wash it well, you can peel it, or if you do not mind the texture, eat some of the skin too. Then leave it at that. No syrup, no sugar, no heavy dessert right after it. And just as importantly, do not eat the kiwi and then lie in bed scrolling your phone in a dark room for 40 minutes. That defeats the whole point. Bright light at bedtime, especially from screens, can interfere with sleep quality, and sleep quality matters for how your eyes feel the next morning. If you want your evening routine to help your eyes, the fruit should be part of a larger pattern. Dimmer lights, less screen exposure, better hydration, and a body that actually gets a chance to rest. Let me tell you about the kind of person this often helps. Imagine a woman in her early 70s who starts every morning with 10 or 15 blurry minutes before things settle down. She notices glare when she drives. She notices that menus are harder to read in dim restaurants. She assumes this is simply the price of aging and that nothing short of a prescription or procedure could possibly matter. Then she makes a few simple changes. She improves her bedtime routine. She cuts back on sugary evening snacks. She eats 1 or 2 ripe kiwi most nights. She reduces bright screen use before bed. She uses a bedroom humidifier because her eyes were drying out overnight. She gives the routine 3 weeks instead of 3 days. And gradually, her mornings begin to feel more comfortable. Not perfect, not magically young again, but clearer, steadier, less strained. That is how real progress usually works. Quietly, gradually, through habits, not hype. Now let me save you from 4 common mistakes. The first is expecting a dramatic result in a week. Nutrition does not work like a painkiller. The people who benefit are usually the ones who stay consistent long enough for the pattern to matter. The second mistake is pairing a healthy fruit with an unhealthy routine. If your evening still includes heavy sugar, alcohol, dehydration, or endless screen glare, do not expect 1 kiwi to overpower all of that. The third mistake is using food as an excuse to avoid proper medical care. If your blurry vision is getting worse, if you see flashes of light, a dark curtain, sudden floaters, sudden loss of vision, severe eye pain, or fast changes in one eye, that is not a bedtime fruit problem. That needs immediate medical evaluation. And the fourth mistake is assuming all blurry vision is caused by the same thing. It is not. Dry eye, cataracts, blood sugar issues, retinal disease, medication side effects, poor sleep, and age-related changes can all affect your vision. Food can support your eyes, but it does not replace an eye exam. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with a very sensible takeaway. If your mornings are blurry, do not panic, but do not ignore it either. Look at the pattern. Look at your sleep. Look at your hydration. Look at your diet. And if you want one simple, affordable step to add tonight, make it this. Try 1 or 2 ripe kiwi about an hour before bed. Keep the rest of your evening calm and stay consistent for a few weeks. It is not a miracle. It is not a substitute for treatment, but it is a small, smart habit that fits beautifully into a routine built around healthier eyes. Before you go, tell me in the comments, do your eyes feel blurrier in the morning or later in the day? I read those comments because they help me understand what this audience is dealing with most. And if you want more clear, practical guidance for healthy aging, vision support, and everyday wellness, subscribe to I'm Dr. Anna, and on this channel, we focus on simple strategies that make real life easier, clearer, and healthier. Take good care of your eyes. You are going to need them for a lifetime.